Hi, my name's Stephen Carr, and I'm here to talk to you today about the number one leading cause of injury death, which is poisoning. So, what is poisoning? Poison is any substance that is harmful or toxic to your body. Okay? You might swallow it, inhale it, inject it, or absorb it through your skin, eyes, or a mucous membrane such as your mouth or your nose. Okay? So there are a number of different ways that you could possibly be poisoned, and many of which could happen right in your own home. Prescription, over-the-counter, and illicit drugs are a very common source of poisoning. It's very important that you follow the directions on the label and keep all of the pills in their original containers with the labels on them, and follow the directions very carefully in order to avoid accidental poisoning. Another poison that you need to be very careful of is carbon monoxide. It's extremely dangerous because you cannot see it, and children are at an especially increased risk because of their high metabolic rates and their high tissue oxygen demands. So how you can prevent this is by getting a carbon monoxide detector that's going to let you know when your carbon monoxide levels are high, in which case you can call somebody to come check it out and make sure that the levels are safe for you to be there. Another poison you need to be very careful of is heavy metals, such as iron, lead, and mercury. These things can be found in paint and also in anything with a can. Okay, so canned tuna is going to be high in mercury, so you need to eat this sparingly to avoid mercury poisoning within your body. Some of the most serious household poisons include toilet bowl cleaner and drain openers. These are very highly toxic, and if they get on your skin, they can cause severe burns that are as serious as burns from fire. So you need to make sure that you don't get them on your skin if you're using them. Make sure you use gloves. Okay, and when you're storing them, make sure you store them somewhere high and out of reach of children. If you store them somewhere low, it's possible that a child might get into it and could possibly cause some damage. So you need to make sure you're storing them in a high spot and using gloves while you're using them to make sure you stay safe. Another deadly household poison is alcohol, okay, especially liquor. Liquor can be consumed very fast and in very high quantities, which can cause alcohol poisoning or even death. Some ways to prevent this are to drink in moderation, if at all. Do not drink on an empty stomach. Make sure that you have some food in your stomach before you start drinking alcohol. Make sure that you communicate with children, especially teenagers, about the dangers of alcohol and how careful they need to be. Okay, and make sure you store your products in a safe place, away from the reach of children, and somewhere where it's not going to be disrupted, and you can make sure that it's safe. Share with you some statistics about poisoning that are extremely, extremely scary. Poisoning is the leading cause of injury death in the United States. More than 2 million people suffer some type of poisoning each year, and the number one substance involved is analgesics, or painkillers. In 2016, 55 poison control centers managed 2.7 million cases via telephone, about half of which were for exposures and ingestions among children ages 5 and under. In 2016, 9 out of every 10 cases occurred in the home or the residence. Opioid overdoses have quadrupled in the United States since 1999. In 2016, poison control centers managed over 67,000 opioid exposure cases. Each year, more than 14,800 people die from prescription opioid overdose. From 2010 to 2015, the percentage of drug overdose deaths involving heroin tripled from 8% in 2010 to 25% in 2015. The symptoms and the effects of poisoning range from short-term illness to brain damage, comas, or even death. It's extremely important that you store things with the correct label on in a place that is out of reach from children, especially when we're talking about these poisonous substances. If you or someone that you know thinks that you've been poisoned, you need to call your local Poison Control Center at 1-800-222-1222, and they will help you out and walk you through the process. Thank you.